Paritam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In continuation of reading the book Living Name, Chapter 6, Someone Who Successfully Changed. Scripture narrates the story of Ajamila, a Brahman who became a terrible sinner and murderer, addicted to a life of crime and abominable habits. At death, he calls out for his cherished son called Narayana. Because he accidentally chants Narayana, one of the Lord's divine names, Ajamil miraculously receives a second chance to live. Grateful, he hastens to Haridwar to take up a life of chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. Ajamil was strict in his practices and determined not to fall back into his old habits. His ardent efforts formed new samskaras, impressions in the mind, and after a relatively short time he became so pure that he was taken by the Vishnu Dutas back to Godhead. From Ajamila's story, we receive proof that it is possible to change old habits. And just as Ajamila took up a life of chanting, I sincerely urge all of my respected readers to transform your lives by forming new habits in chanting. Take whatever has resonated with you from this book and make a firm decision to apply it every day. Obtain blessings from your new practices by doing the Sankalpa exercise outlined below. A Sankalpa helps you form a new habit. And please remember, advancement does not come merely by gaining new information without practice. Such newly acquired knowledge floats about in the head for a little time before it becomes stale and ultimately disappears. You need to practice regularly so that new habits set in and result in a dramatically enriched spiritual life. Attaining one's purpose with a sankalpa. It is well known how difficult it is to break an old habit and adopt a new and better one. In India, there is a proverb which says that it is easier to move the Himalayan mountains than change a personal habit. However, there is a means called a sankalpa which is imbued with special power to help us achieve this. A sankalpa is a new intention, a soul-man vow formed in the heart and mind to improve spiritual practices with determination. It can be generated by asking questions that help you decide what you most want to concentrate on. In which way I want to improve my chanting? What would my practice be like if I don't do anything about this? What steps do I need to take? What do I seek to gain from working on this goal? Forming such an intention and living by it allows you to exercise your free will and make the best use of your time. It helps you remember why you are about to embark on the most sacred practice of chanting and what you hope to give and receive from it. So, your intention will become your best. Soon, your inner intention will become your best friend, and you can gradually break free from the slavery of material conditioning. You will be able to do something wonderful with your life. A sankalpa derives its strength from the blessings and empowerment of the Lord. A verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam describes the efficacy of sankalpa. A person who has faith in me and who absorbs his mind in me, the fulfiller of all desires, will achieve his desired object by that very means. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.15.26. Sri Krishna is called Satya Sankalpa. He who desire, intention, purpose, or resolve always comes to pass. Similarly, the holy name, which is described as a Chintamani, can fulfill one's desires. Fortunately, this does not apply to our fleeting desires that come and go like clouds in the sky. However, when a devotee consciously goes to Krishna to seek help in fulfilling a certain purpose, his desires receive the attention of Krishna, who can by his power fulfill them. A sankalpa thus derives its strength from Krishna. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions that one should be determined to revive one's lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by the infallible means of devotional service. Forming a sankalpa. In our Vaishnava tradition, devotees should often form a sankalpa to observe Ekadashi, a fasting day where one increases their devotional practices. On the evening before fasting, the devotee would reflect upon the vows they wish to keep on this special day. Then they would go before the altar, offer their vows to the Lord, and request blessings to fulfill those vows. These vows were for the Lord's pleasure, of course. This practice of being mindful and intentional goes a long way in anything we wish to achieve. Amid the chaos and complexities of the material world, forming a one pointed sankalpa is a simple yet essential practice in pursuit of spiritual. It keeps one closely connected to their purpose. The Sankalpa exercise. Now take a moment to think clearly about what you wish your best chanting to be like. Perhaps you wish to chant with absolute absorption, or at least with one more focus or more connected to Krishna throughout your practice. Try to discover your own answer or organically. It is your personal answer that will determine the goal in your chanting. How will you know if you have arrived at your own answer? Simple. You will feel great excitement and joy in your heart. You will feel that to reach this goal will unlock the life you truly want to live. Next, reflect on your chanting at the present moment. Consider, are you inspired when you chant? Do you give priority to your chanting? Does your chanting tend to be mechanical or is it enlivened? Are there habits you want to give up or new ones you want to adopt? Try to be as honest and as clear as possible. Write or reflect on this from the heart. Sorry. Now brainstorm a specific practical and feasible step you could take to help you advance on your journey to your best japa. It may be an aspect of yojana or a practice to imbibe the mood of sambandha, seva, vipralamba or sharanagati. Important. Identify one new practice only and not several. You can list several options but choose to adopt just one at a time. Often people set their minds on too many new practices and end up doing none due to limited capacity. Write down one clear aim. For example, for example, I will read songs and prayers that glorify chanting. Whenever I catch my mind wandering off, I will bring it back to the holy name. I will give priority to my chanting by waking up early to chant at least number of rounds. I will nourish my chanting by applying one of the tools presented in this book. Now you are ready. Go before your altar or inwardly turn to Lord and your spiritual master and humbly reveal to them your situation. Tell them where your chanting is at present. Then express how you wish your chanting could be. And finally, present your intended and practical steps to arrive at your aspiration. Thus, with a heart filled with sincerity and determination, pray they bless your sankalpa and practice to be infused with spiritual strength. Important, the question in step 2 and the corresponding answers in step 3 serve only as examples. It is essential that you find your individual answers to become a truly inspired chanter. Only when you discover your own passion for the practice does it really take off. You might do you might need to do this exercise again. Stop here and we finish this exercise today. So basically, here the author is talking about the Sankalpa concepts and takes an example of an Ajamil who was a great Brahmana, but eventually he loses his Brahmanical qualifications, and how again he, at the time of death, when he remembers Lord's name, although it's not the intention of remembering Lord, but only calling for his son, yet Lord is so merciful, he gives a second chance for Ajamil where Ajamil makes a best utilization of his second chance and dedicates his entire life in chanting the holy name at the Ganges of river Ganga. Similarly, we should also try to focus on chanting the holy name and try all our best to make improvements in our current uh, process of chanting by introspecting every now and then how and where we are, what is the quality of our chanting, and how we can make improvements. In that way, by doing periodical introspections, we may improve every time, every step we take in. And also a beautiful example of sankalpas and how it helps us to um, stick to one sankalpa by taking the sankalpa and making a vow and engaging ourselves in fulfilling that sankalpa. Eventually it becomes a habit for us and we keep continually doing it. As it is well known said that to break up old habits is really very difficult, so it's better to develop at the right first time the right way of doing it. So I stop here and continue for Japa.